Imagine a garden where the beauty of nature meets the harshness of the mountains. This is the essence of alpine gardening, a practice that transforms rugged, inhospitable terrains into thriving horticultural masterpieces. Alpine gardens are nestled high above sea level, where the air is thin, and the landscape is a tapestry of rock and ice. Here, temperatures plummet and the wind carves through the terrain with relentless force. Yet, amidst these severe conditions, a variety of resilient plants not only survive but flourish. These plants have adapted to the extremes of their environment, developing deep roots, waxy leaves, and a compact growth habit to minimize exposure to the elements. What's truly remarkable is how these adaptations enable alpine plants to withstand the challenges of high-altitude gardening. From the silvery cushions of the sea campion to the vibrant splashes of the alpine poppy, each species contributes to a vivid mosaic of life that defies the odds. Alpine gardens aren't just surviving, they're thriving, sculpting beauty in the face of adversity. So, what's the secret behind the toughness of alpine plants? High up in the mountains, where the air is thin and the climate can be harsh, alpine plants flourish against all odds. These remarkable species have adapted to some of the most challenging environmental conditions on Earth. Let's delve into the fascinating world of their survival strategies. Firstly, many alpine plants boast deep root systems. These extensive roots delve far into the rocky terrain to anchor the plant securely, and search for moisture and nutrients in a landscape where both are scarce. This not only stabilizes them against the strong mountain winds, but also allows them to access water from deeper sources during dry periods. In addition to their robust root systems, alpine plants often have waxy, small leaves. The waxy coating is crucial. It minimizes water loss, a vital trait when every drop counts. Moreover, the small size of the leaves reduces their surface area, decreasing water loss further and protecting them from cold temperatures and ultraviolet radiation, which is more intense at high altitudes. Another distinctive trait of these hardy plants is their slow growth rate. In the alpine climate, where growing seasons can be as brief as a few weeks, it's a race against time. By growing slowly, these plants minimize their energy expenditure and can survive longer, even when nutrients are limited. Furthermore, many alpine plants exhibit a compact cushion-like growth form. This shape helps them resist the cold by reducing exposure to icy winds and retaining heat near the ground. It also reduces damage from snow and ice, which can be frequent in their native habitats. These adaptations are more than just survival mechanisms. They are finely tuned responses to the extreme conditions found at high altitudes. From deep roots to waxy leaves, each characteristic plays a critical role in not just surviving but thriving in the alpine environment. These plants don't just endure, they equip themselves remarkably well for the challenges they face. Let's meet some of the stars of the alpine world. First, the edelweiss, a symbol of rugged beauty and resilience. This iconic alpine plant, with its woolly, star-shaped flowers, thrives in the limestone soils of high mountains. The silvery foliage reflects sunlight, while its deep roots stabilize it against the harsh mountain winds. Edelweiss is not just a pretty face, it's a survivor, adapted to some of the most extreme conditions on Earth. Next, we encounter the alpine aster. This delightful plant paints the landscape with hues of purple and blue. Its daisy-like flowers bloom profusely even in the rocky, nutrient-poor soils that characterize alpine regions. Alpine asters are low maintenance but high impact, offering a burst of color from late spring through to early autumn. They are a testament to the fact that beauty can flourish even in the least expected places. Moving on, let's explore the charming world of mountain avens. These plants form low, dense mats that cover the ground like a soft green blanket. In spring, they dazzle with their cup-shaped yellow flowers that seem to smile at the sun. Mountain avens are essential for any alpine garden, providing not only aesthetic appeal, but also helping to prevent soil erosion on steep slopes. As we continue our tour, it becomes clear that each of these plants is perfectly adapted to its environment. They share common traits like compact growth, which minimizes damage from cold winds, and leaves that can store moisture, essential in their dry habitats. Yet each species has its unique twist on survival, making them fascinating subjects not only for gardeners but for anyone intrigued by the resilience of nature. Alpine gardens are not just collections of plants, they are assemblies of the tough and the beautiful, showcasing nature's ability to adapt and persevere. Each of these plants holds a unique charm, adding splashes of color and life to rugged terrains. Now, how can you cultivate these rugged beauties in your own garden? Embarking on the alpine gardening journey begins with understanding the unique needs of these hardy plants. The cornerstone of successful alpine gardening lies in soil preparation. Alpine plants are accustomed to sharp drainage and rocky soils. To replicate this, mix your garden soil with gravel or sand, enhancing drainage and mimicking the gritty texture of their natural rocky habitats. Next, consider the watering habits that these plants thrive on. Despite popular belief, alpine plants do not require copious amounts of water. Instead, they prefer infrequent but thorough watering. This simulates the natural conditions found in their mountainous homes, where rainwater drains quickly through the soil. Sunlight is another critical factor. Most alpine plants bask in the full glory of the sun for many hours a day, adapted to the unfiltered sunlight of high altitudes. Position your garden in a spot that receives ample sunlight, preferably a south-facing slope, which provides the ideal exposure and assists in maintaining the dry conditions that these plants favor. Another tip is to create raised beds or rock gardens. These structures not only improve drainage but also help in controlling the soil quality and temperature. Raised beds warm up faster in the spring, giving your alpine plants a head start, and they ensure that the roots stay warm during colder months. Incorporating stones and small boulders not only adds aesthetic value, but also retains heat, which is beneficial during cooler nights. Finally, remember that alpine plants are used to the fierce competition in their native habitats, so minimal fertilization is needed. A light application of a low-nitrogen fertilizer in the early spring is more than sufficient to support their growth without encouraging lush, vulnerable foliage that can't withstand harsh conditions. With the right techniques, you can transform any tough spot into a thriving alpine garden. Of course, alpine gardening comes with its own set of challenges. The rugged terrain and extreme conditions that define alpine environments make gardening a unique endeavor. Let's delve into some of the common issues faced by alpine gardeners and explore effective solutions. First, let's tackle the issue of drainage. Alpine soils can often be rocky or clay-heavy, leading to poor water drainage. This can be detrimental to plants that are susceptible to root rot. The solution? Incorporating grit, sand, or even gravel into the soil can significantly improve drainage and mimic the natural alpine habitats these plants thrive in. Additionally, constructing raised beds or terraces can help manage water flow, ensuring that plants receive just the right amount of moisture without becoming waterlogged. Moving on to pest control, alpine plants can attract a variety of pests, from aphids to slugs. While it might be tempting to resort to chemical pesticides, a more sustainable approach involves using barriers and natural predators. For instance, diatomaceous earth can deter slugs, while planting nectar-rich flowers attracts beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings, which help keep pest populations in check. Extreme weather conditions pose perhaps the most formidable challenge in alpine gardening. From freezing temperatures to scorching sun, the weather can be unpredictable. To shield your plants from frost, consider using horticultural fleece or cloches during colder months. For protection against intense sunlight, strategic placement of taller plants can provide necessary shade to more delicate species. Moreover, adapting your gardening calendar to the local climate is crucial. Planting and transplanting in the cooler parts of the year can prevent stress on the plants, giving them a better chance to establish themselves. Also, choosing native alpine species or those adapted to similar conditions can greatly enhance your garden's resilience. Remember, the key to successful alpine gardening lies in understanding and adapting to the local environment. By anticipating challenges and implementing thoughtful solutions, you can create a thriving alpine garden. Every garden has its obstacles, but in alpine gardening, each solution brings you closer to mastering this art. Why does alpine gardening captivate so many? To answer this, let's delve into the profound impact these gardens have, both ecologically and aesthetically. Alpine gardens don't just survive, they thrive, contributing significantly to local biodiversity. These gardens act as crucial habitats, providing shelter and food for various species of wildlife, many of which are adapted to the specific climates of high altitudes. Moreover, the aesthetic appeal of alpine gardens is undeniable. They transform rugged, often barren landscapes into vibrant tapestries of color and texture. This visual transformation not only pleases the eye but also draws garden enthusiasts and nature lovers alike, inspiring them to engage with the environment in thoughtful, sustainable ways. In essence, alpine gardens serve as a bridge between the wild and the cultivated, inviting us to rethink our perceptions of what is possible in garden design. Alpine gardens do more than beautify, they create a sanctuary for life in extreme conditions.